Good day, everyone, and welcome to our discussion in digital self. Oh, sorry that we were unable to discuss earlier. Then let's proceed and have this discussion. Now, digital self is basically, sabi ni Brian Solis, no? Whether you realize it or not, or even wish to admit it, you already have an online reputation to protect. And it's true, no? We have all our accounts like Facebook accounts, etc., etc. And it's our responsibility to protect it from those who are, phishing, scammers, etc. Now, digital self is also a mask that we put on to engage to the technological world. Basically, when we say digital self, it's not the whole identity of who we are. No? But then it's just a mask that we put on to show to other people, no? And also an aspect of ourselves which is shared to others through the use of social media and technology, like using our cell phones, using our Facebook accounts, Instagram, and other social media outlets, right? Now, digital identity, on the other hand, is the set of characteristics that identify a person within the internet, right? Now, that includes our personal information online, like text, videos, photos, etc. Also, the things that we post and the things that other people post about us. Okay, so that includes our digital identity. Now, what are the elements then? So, sabi dito, online identity is like an investment. And when we say investment, we often start out with a small amount of capital. Okay, and the way it is used over time determines how much people end up with later on. Okay, so it's like business investment. That, for example, we opened our Facebook accounts. We may have friends like our family members, okay, friends, close friends, and as we grow older, we have friends in different schools, friends of friends. So lumalaki yan. Depende sa tao kung gusto niya. Okay? Na mag-invest na kaibigan sa social media. Right? So, your online behavior, okay, sometimes people tend to assume that your online actions are representative of the way you are in person. Okay? Then, in reality, there are things na nagiging totoo naman na your online behavior is your real behavior when you're in person. But then, there are those people, that may be quite aggressive when it comes to their online behavior, but then when it comes to personal life, no? So in reality, there are the people who are calm, okay, and hindi mo akalain talagang aggressive, no? Also, your online voice, okay? Are you the person who are controversial? Are you contentious or otherwise inappropriate? Okay, so it's on your part if you consider yourself as a controversial person when it comes to the social media. Okay, and lastly, your online presentation. Okay, from your blogs, your websites, your Facebook account, the images and other elements. Okay, that could also say a lot about you. Right? Now, the development of digital self, the impact of communication media on the formation of identity in today's societies is focused on internet communication and virtual realities. And it's true. Nowadays, due to the pandemic, We are currently using the technology as an outlet for education. No? Without these technologies, without social media, okay, nothing would be possible about this, right? Now, in the current millennial age, according to Russell Bell, videos, online messages, okay, social media statuses, these factors are viewed as the one that is molding our identity. Okay, it helps in molding us. Okay? And when we say in digital self, it says a lot. No, like those ads that we see, okay, would somehow mold us in shaping our identity. All right. Now, okay, millennials are also called digital natives. In short, they are the people, no? Millennials are the ones who parang doon nag-boom ang technology. Right? So they're considered as the natives. Now, what are the reasons why or reasons for having digital self? We have 5 reasons. Number 1 is people want to meet the expectations of others. People want to boost their self-esteem, to feel a sense of belonging, bigger sense of freedom, people strive for their ideal selves, right? So first, people want to meet the expectations of others, and according to research, it shows that over 50% of women would edit their social media photos to look better and meet the expectations that the media and magazines have set. And as we all know, the magazines, media, okay, they have some sort of standards of what is beautiful, what is handsome. Okay, that's why because of the those expectations, we tend to edit for us to look better. Okay, to para pumasok sa expectations ng society. Right? Number 2 is boosting the self-esteem of the individual. Right? So people upload photos and statuses online that they feel will receive likes and positive feedback, in which ultimately helps their egos. Right? And sino ba naman, right? Who would, sino ba namang tao ang hindi nagagandahan, no? Or who would not feel positive if their photos uploaded, okay, receives a lot of appreciation. Okay, basically it helps in boosting their self-esteem or their egos. Right? Number 3 is to feel a sense of belonging. Hey, some of us want to fit in the crowd and upload things that are down with a trend. Okay, so in today's generation, majority of this generation is using TikTok, no? And it's very popular in these days, and it's on trend. Okay, I know majority of you or some of you may not have TikTok, but you may have watched, okay, TikTok videos. Okay, now bigger sense of freedom. In digital platforms, it allows an individual to express themselves, okay, in any way that they wanted to, okay, without someone, okay, who's there physically to judge them. All right, so it's basically there's a freedom for you to post anything, right? Almost anything without a person physically judging you. Okay, and lastly is the ideal self, is striving for their ideal self. Okay, so digital applications allow us to improve our appearances on photos. So these applications help consumers express themselves as their ideal self online and inevitably feel better about themselves. Basically, there are lots of applications already that if we edit our pictures and make our face look fairer, okay, or remove the pimples that we have on our faces, etc. Because that's our ideal self, that there should not be something on our face, and I should have a fair skin like my friends or like the Americans, etc. Right? So now, what about selective self-presentation and impression management? Okay. So when we say self-presentation, okay, it's basically a process that individuals use to control the impressions of others through social interaction. It's basically how you present yourself. Okay, it's that's basic now. But then, when we say strategic self-presentation, this is intended to only be used in the beginning. Okay, like an interview. Okay, interviews. It's very important that we have to strategically present ourselves, okay, for us to be hired. No? Now, what are types of self-presentation? We have here the authentic, ideal, and tactical. When we say authentic self-presentation, it's basically to create an image in line with the way we view ourselves. It's like real self, no? There's no expectations from others. It's just being you, right? And for the ideal is to create an image consistent with what we want to be, the ideal self. But then when we say tactical, okay, it's basically to create a public image in line with what other people want or what they expect us to be. So it's the expectation, right? So in an interview, there are expectations that you should be answering, you should be doing this and that, etc. So that's a tactical self-presentation, that you present yourself, okay, in a way that, okay, yung expectation nila is dapat na-meet mo sa mga sinasabi mo. Alright? Now, impression management is the process by which we attempt to influence the reactions and images people have of them and their ideas. Okay, so influencing, okay, the reactions. Now, it's I think we discussed Irving Goffman of the dramaturgical model of self. Okay, so it's basically when we say impression management, is you successfully stage a character and you have put on a performance. No? So techniques, we have dramaturgical loyalty, dramaturgical discipline, and dramaturgical circumspection. So when I say dramaturgical loyalty is used by members of a team in order to be loyal to the team and behave in accordance to the team's performance and never exploit the presence in their front region in order to stage their own show. So loyalty, okay, being loyal to the team that you are in. What about dramaturgical discipline is it's basically in order, okay, to successfully stage a character and a team performance, each performer must have a presence of mind and self-control so that, okay, he remembers his parts and does not commit any unintended gestures while performing and is able to save the show if that would be the case. So it's not about your performance. It's also being disciplined in knowing the roles of the others, okay? So that if in case that they forgot something, you are there to save the show, okay? Now, dramaturgical circumspection is combination of being loyal and disciplined, basically, no? So selecting the right team members and making sure that they are dramaturgically loyal and disciplined. Now, selecting the audience that will give a minimum of troubles in terms of the show, okay, the performer wants to put on, as well as the show he does not want to put on. Okay, so dramaturgical circumspection is being strategic. Okay, so you select members that is being loyal to their roles, okay, and also a disciplined one. Now, also, if you are in this situation, if you're a performer, you should select also the audience, and of course, give give a performance that is intended to that audience. No, if you are in a child show, of course, pakita mo naman kung it's like magic tricks for the children, okay, as compared to for performances for the adults. No, now impact of online interactions. There's a lot, no? So there are a lot of positive impact of social media, like enhancement of social contact, that to the point of there are contacts in your like Facebook friends, okay, that you don't really know well, no, but they are in your friends list. Okay, there's a high independence. Okay, communication became easier. Okay, also social connectedness, well-being, friendship quality. Okay, also social and educational benefits like what we do now. No, because of technology and social media, we're able to pull off this kind of education system. No? Now, also develops positive attitude towards culture. Now, for the negative ones, okay, there's a lot also. In the social media platforms, there could be meanness and bullying, okay, cyberbullying, okay, misunderstanding that there are some people who are the online behavior, as we discussed earlier, no, that when they behave in social media, they are like negative people, but then in reality, they are not. Okay, and of course, some people would somehow misunderstood those people. No? Unwanted contacts, like those people who are really phishing, okay, or hacking Facebook accounts and other accounts. Okay, unintentional disclosure as well. Online relationships attract more socially and emotionally vulnerable adolescents. So, because of adolescents are very vulnerable emotionally, it's because for Eric Erickson, this is the time that they're already looking for for their identities. Okay? Kasi pag hindi, they may suffer identity crisis as they grow older. Okay? Also, negative impact on cognitive and emotional being, that we tend to be more focused on our social media accounts and not focusing on our studies. Okay? Also, jealousy and self-mutilation. There's a lot. Okay? It's not mentioned here, but then those are just examples. Right? Now, presentation of self online, we have here blended identity, identity tourism. Okay, yung dalawa lang. Wala na yung reflect on. No? When we say blended identity is when an individual creates an online identity different from the identity offline. But in cases where they meet in person, the people they speak to online, the online persona is kept. Okay, when we say online persona is kept. Okay, for example, you are this person who is really not sociable, okay? But then when you give or when you chat someone, you're somehow like a jolly person, a sociable person, okay? So when you finally meet this person, okay, of course you would keep that kind of persona that you're a jolly one, even if it's not. Okay, it's because they are expecting they expect you to be jolly and being a sociable person. And identity tourism, on the other hand, is individuals use the possibility of anonymity on online platforms to shift significant parts of their identity, like gender, age, or race. Okay, so being anonymous, identity tourism. All right. All right. So, yan. Ito na lang, pictures na lang papakita ko. So, there's the Facebook version of you, but then there's the realistic version of you. Also, I don't think we'll need to increase the dose. Okay, nobody likes me, etc. These are just memes, no? Did you just break up with me, etc. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may update your Facebook status. Hashtag married. Okay? Yeah. Right? So, that ends our discussion in digital self. If you have questions, just give me or just send me a message so that I can answer it. All right? Thank you so much and have a good day.